Welcome back to episode 18 of the Eye Doctor UK podcast. Thanks for joining me again. We've seen a little uplift in the amount of people who've been watching it recently, and some of the feedback has been brilliant. So I'm very, very grateful, as always, for anybody who tunes in to watch me talk shit every single week. Today, I'm just going to do a very quick one today because we've got an event. You'll notice that the shutters are closed behind me. We're closed. We're in early so that we can just come and pick up the camera gear because we're off to TechMax. I know I've mentioned it a few times. By the time that you're watching this, we will have been and gone. And during the week, you should expect to see a little, just a video, like a vlog style video of the event. And if I see you there, it's been great to have seen you because I will have seen you by the time you see this. Does that make sense? Yes. I've not got a great deal to talk about this week. Literally nothing to talk about this week because I can't think of anything. I came in this morning, I broke an iPad Air 4 screen, which I was a little bit upset about, but this is just a gentle reminder that things break. Like when you're repairing tech, things break. So when you're pricing stuff, think about what would be the cost of if this breaks. Now don't think I'm gonna have to replace the device, but like when we're doing glass only repairs, we've got to cover the cost of if you break the LCD. So generally, let's talk about pricing. This is where we're gonna go. I can see where it's going now. So when you're pricing your repair jobs, if you're thinking about doing repairs for people, I know that people watch this podcast who do repairs for people and charge them money. You need to consider what if it goes wrong. Using the example of the iPad Air 4, generally my prices for the glass only repair are around the same cost as it would cost me to replace the part. So for an iPad Air 4, about 130, 140, it costs for a replacement LCD on that. And I know it's unfortunate if you don't make any money on a job, but that's the risk that you're taking when you're carrying out sort of specialised work, especially. I'll just take a sip of my coffee. Coffee was half price. You know what? Last week I didn't even mention this guy, Mandala. He's got the little hippie coffee shop up the road. It looks like you're walking into a hippie palace. He's doing half price coffee today, so that was great. But yeah, pricing, it's very important to just consider those things. Not only how long it's going to take, your expenses, sort of parts and that kind of thing, but yeah, you just need to consider how much it's going to cost you if it goes wrong as well. So make sure that that's built into the cost. With things like screen repairs on like iPhones, for example, let's talk about like a iPhone SE, which has been a very popular repair this week. So the iPhone SE 2020 and 2022, we charge £50 for the screen replacement on that. Now, a refurbed LCD costs us about £22. So in there, we've got £28 sort of markup, which covers the staff wages, my wages, the building costs and everything like that. Now that margin's quite low because it's just I could probably bump it up to 60 quid realistically, or 55, and it would probably be more effective for us. But the quantity that we do, fairly satisfactory, and the amount of time that it takes. I'm quite happy with the 28 quid markup on that one. It takes about 15 minutes to do the job. If you do 4 in an hour, that's good money, isn't it? Really, when you think about it like that. But the reality is that you might not do 4 in an hour. It'd be nice if you could just churn out repair. We're at an advantage where we probably can do that because there's just an endless list of jobs that can be done. But I think when you're starting out, just remember to price things accordingly to cover your wages, to cover your costs, and to cover when shit goes wrong, because there's nothing worse. Moving on. I'm actually planning a trip to China. So I'm thinking about going to in August next year. And I don't know if the guys at Rewar watch this. I know that they watch my shorts, but if you watch this, anybody at Rewar, I would love to come to China and visit you guys. Now, I want to go and do the training course in China. Like I've been doing logic board repairs for quite a while. People often mix me up as some kind of expert. Now, I'm not bad, don't get me wrong. I'm all right at diagnosing a problem, but there's a lot what I can't fix. For example, like I would love to do data recovery, board swap sort of stuff, so CPU swapping onto new boards and that kind of thing. I've tried it before and I've failed a few times, so I'd like to go and get some like formal training to just be able to master that and be able to offer that as a service, because, you know, I take it really personally when I can't fix something and I get really mad at myself when and the reality is you can't fix everything and not everything is fixable. Having all bases covered would be a great advantage to me, and I'm sure that I could show you guys what I've learned as well, because I enjoy, not only that do I enjoy learning, I enjoy showing other people what we've learned and how to do things. As you can see on the channel, we pump out 2 videos a week, tutorials, and the rest is entertainment type things. I could just talk about how like the numbers have been insane on TikTok, on YouTube, on all the platforms that we've grown on recently, but you don't want to hear about that. Like, I've talked about it so many times. But Alex did show me a screenshot that he'd taken a year ago today. It came up on his Snapchat, and we're sat on 7,000 subs on YouTube this time last year, and now we're like 83,000 we hit this morning, which is I just can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe it. And the amount of people who are coming, I don't know if I did speak about this last week, but I'm going to talk about it again. Sorry if I did. The amount of people who are coming in the shop now, I probably didn't actually, yeah. So on Saturday last week, we usually work alternate Saturdays, but Nathan's been off obviously. The amount of people what are coming in and saying that I've seen you on YouTube, some guy came down with his dad, and his dad says his son didn't believe him that he were going to a shop of a YouTuber, and he's never met a YouTuber before. So I thought it was just dead humbling that these things keep happening. Some people drove, like, they're not driving from miles away, but somebody came from Bristol, which is a fair old trek. Somebody came from Bristol to bring me a couple of iPads, so thank you to that guy. And yeah, lots of people driving from a couple of hours away just to have a screen protector put on and that kind of thing. So it's just, yeah, rock, paper, scissors. I played rock, paper, scissors against a little girl yesterday. It's a shame I usually have the POV cam on, but I didn't yesterday because it's hard at the minute because I'm so busy. It's been a roller coaster, a whirlwind. So I'm just eternally grateful to everybody who keeps watching our videos. So it's weird because, like, I've made these videos for about 3 or 4 years, but they've always reached far-flung places. Like India was like the top place that it used to get to. Philippines and sort of Southeast Asia. From that, you don't see real people who are interacting with stuff because it's always people in far-flung countries speaking a different language that I don't understand. Whereas now, because I'm speaking a lot more on it and we're just doing the stupid, bantery, jokey stuff, it seems to be reaching a lot more local audience, which is great to see because we get loads of people coming in who've seen us on YouTube, who've seen us on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. And it's just so nice that all this hard work is paying off. So thanks everybody. Obviously we got the flags up. It's Euro 2024. I've watched football. I'm not a massive football fan by any means. I think we've spoke about football before on the podcast because there's a lot of football in the city and a lot of football in England, but international tournaments have always been entertaining to watch, and I know a lot of people who aren't necessarily football fans get well into it. I got the flags up in the window. They are visible on some of the shorts what I've been putting on, and a few people have sort of commented asking if I'm Albanian because I've got an Albanian flag in the window. A couple of people have asked why I've not got a Cuban flag, a Mexican flag in there. It's not because I'm prioritising European countries, it's just because of the European Football Championships held in Germany this year. So no offence to anybody whose flag I've not got in the window. Maybe you could send me a flag and I'll put it up if you really want. No, don't, because I don't think it'll suit the aesthetic, and I've got some other work to do in here when Nathan gets back. Just gonna fire through a couple of questions now, and we need to get this over and done with because we have got to actually go, and I don't want to use too much battery on my microphone because I'm going to need it today. So, question 1. Well, thank you very much for your comment. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure what altruistic means. I'm not sure if you're talking about autism. What? I'm joking. Right, but tools, right? I'll say it again and again and again. The best thing that you can do is buy good quality tools. When I make videos and I make things look easy, it's not because I'm good at it, it's because I buy very, very good quality tools. I would much rather go bankrupt buying tools than anything else, because like everything that we use is the best quality tool that you can buy. I will buy 2, 3 of everything. I know it's not ideal when you're first setting up, when you've not got much money to spend, but honestly, don't buy cheap crap because you will 100% have to replace it again a couple of months down the line. You'll probably regret buying it. I've seen a lot of people with those really cheap heat guns and they're trying to solder with it, but it's garbage. Just spend a few £100s on a decent hot air station and you'll notice a difference. You 100% you'll notice a difference. Hot air station, soldering iron. I see people with really, really bad soldering irons. The way that soldering irons work is by transferring heat from the tip of the soldering iron to the motherboard, which then just sucks all the heat out of the soldering iron. So this is warm, this is cold. All it's doing is trying to reach equilibrium, and a bad quality soldering iron will cool down rather than staying hot and cause so many problems. If you're using a good solder iron with a good tip on it, then you'll eliminate so many problems. So many bad soldering issues that you're having will probably be down to the equipment that you're using. Like I said at the start, I'm in no way that good at soldering, at sort of logic board repair, but the tools what I use make it look or make it seem like I'm a lot better than I am, because it's just a lot easier. It's genuinely easier. So invest in your tools, invest in yourself, and things will get a little bit easier and you'll be able to offer better repairs. Alex keeps looking over at me as if we need to go and he looks on edge. So I think I'm just going to wrap up the podcast there this week. I will be back next week with lots more interesting things to say, unlike this week.
And Nathan's back from jail.
And Nathan, Alex has just reminded me that Nathan is back from jail. So we read some messages, and sometimes the messages that we get are a bit ridiculous, and like we don't have an answer for them. And I think Alex just made a very passive comment saying, "Shall I just tell him that Nathan's in jail and we can't do anything about it?" I think it was because we just said that we're not taking on that many logic board repairs at the moment. He said, "Shall we just say that Nathan's in jail and we can't do that repair at the moment?" Something like that. And then I asked Alex to point the camera at me, and I just made up some absolute nonsense about Nathan's not in jail. And we just started a stupid rumour, really. And everybody that I've seen, I went to watch the match last night, and 4 or 5 people asked me, "Who's been messaging customers saying that Nathan's in jail?" And I'm like, look, don't worry about it. Just to clear up the rumours, nobody ever said that Nathan was in jail apart from me. And I've not messaged anybody. We've not shocked anybody. We've not upset anybody. We just like to do stupid stuff. And that's what it comes down to. And on that note, I'm going to go to TechMax and find some stupid stuff to do. Have a great week, everybody, and I will see you next week. Definitely go and watch that TechMax video that will be up, I imagine, in the next day or so. Thanks as always for watching, and see you next time.